Hi friends, this is the second video for Unit 2, Lesson 11 for second grade. You need your workbook page, page 97. You also need a pencil. And if you want some coins to use, you can. You can also not use the coins and you'll be drawing it anyway. Or if you want to pull up those math manipulatives that I showed you from the last video, you can do that as well. So we are going to complete page 97 to finish off our lesson. And these are kind of like word problems. They look totally different than other word problems we've had before. The directions say write the answer using a cent sign, then write the answer using a dollar sign. So basically what we're doing here is we have two lines, and one we're going to write the total amount of money with the cent sign, and then we're going to take that number and write it with a dollar sign right here. So then we also have to show our work. So even if you're using the coins and the dollars on your computer or with real coins and dollars, you need to make sure that we're drawing it as well. So I'll show you exactly what I mean. So let's get started. So it says Joe has 11 dimes and 4 pennies. How much money does Joe have? So if I were to draw out 10 or 11 dimes, I remember that there are 10 dimes in $1. So I'm going to write that right here. So 10 dimes equals $1, because that's important to remember, right? Because some of these have more than 10 dimes. Okay, so if I were to take 11 dimes, whoops, not a D, and draw that. So go ahead right now and draw 11 dimes. That was kind of a lot of work, right? Well, if you know that 10 dimes equals $1, I can exchange almost all of those dimes for $1. So instead of drawing 10 dimes, I actually want to draw a $1. Now, how many dimes do I have left over? I have 1. And how many pennies do I have? 4. So I have $1, 1 dime, and 4 pennies. So if I was using my real money, there's my dollar. I have 1 dime and I have 4 pennies. So now I need to count up what that is. So $1, so I have 100, 110, 111, 112, 113, and 114. So I can write it in cent form as 114, and then I'll add my cent sign. Or I can write it in dollar notation where I always start with my dollar sign. There's my 1 for my hundreds or my dollar. I put my decimal point to separate my dollars from my cents, and then I have 14. So $1, 1 dime, 4 pennies. Okay, let's try the next one. This one says Becca has $1, 3 dimes, and 8 pennies. How much money does Becca have? So here's $1, 3 dimes, and 8 pennies. Okay, so I can count this up right here. So I know that $1 is the same as 100. So 100, 110, 120, 130, 131, 132, 133, 134, 135, 136, 137, and 138. So Becca has 138 cents. Or if I was going to write that in dollar notation, I would put my 1 for my hundreds, separate my cents from my dollars with a decimal point, and then I would write 38. But we are not done. We need to make sure that we show our work. So I'm going to draw $1, 3 dimes, which are tens, and then 8 pennies. Okay, I'm going to have you try the next 3 problems on your own. Actually, no, let's do one more together, then I'll have you try the last 2 on your own. Okay, so Tim has 14 dimes and 15 pennies. How much money does Tim have? So I remember that 14 dimes, 10 is equal to $1. So if I have $1, that uses 10 of them, how many leftover dimes do I have? I have 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I have 15 pennies. What do you remember about pennies? How many pennies are in 1 dime? 10, right? So if I have 15 pennies, I know that's 1 dime with how many pennies left over? 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I can count up my money. So I have $1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. So I have 155 cents with my cent sign. Or I can write it in dollar notation. I start with my dollar sign. I do my 1 for my dollar and 55 cents. Okay, so I want you to try number 4 and 5 on your own. Number 4, it mixes up the order, so don't get tricked. And number 5 has a bunch of pennies. So go ahead and pause the video, solve those 2 right now. Okay, let's see what you came up with. I have $1, 6 pennies, and 2 dimes, and they put it out of order to try and confuse us. So I have $1, 2 dimes, and 6 pennies. So your drawing should look like that. When I look at my real money and kind of put it out the same, whoops, it would look like this. So let's count. So $1, $1.10, $1.20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So $1.26, don't forget your decimal point, or that's the same as 126 cents. And our last and final one, it says Lou has $1, 8 dimes, and 19 pennies. So I'm going to start by drawing my dollar. 8 dimes, so I'm going to draw 10. Put one more right there. And 19 pennies. Well, I remember that 10 pennies is the same as 1 dime. So if I add an extra dime, that's 10. I have 9 pennies. Could you also draw 19 pennies? Definitely, right? So it just depends on what you're most comfortable with. Now I can count this. So I have $1. Then I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. So 199 cents. Don't forget that cent sign. Or dollar notation, start with my dollar sign, my 1 for my dollars, my decimal point to separate my dollars and my cents, and 99. Okay, so we will use this backside, this farm stand, during small groups today. But that is it for today's lesson. Great job today, friends. See you later.